This story was all too familiar, and Chase Sexton knew it. Late in the race, it looked like he had the goods to get a win in Monster Energy AMA Supercross, but pressure from Cooper Webb and then a late race crash and mistake by Sexton handed over the lead. Now, some of the history has to be written by the winner, and there's a lot of credit that needs to go the way of Cooper Webb. He's won far too many races with late race heroics and applying pressure to not think that he himself created a lot of this outcome. But we've also seen Sexton crash leads away against other riders, leading in the last lap last year at Minneapolis in Supercross, or the last lap at Thunder Valley in Motocross last year come to mind. And it definitely was on his mind after the race. Sexton sat down on the side of a berm. He looked devastated, crushed, frustrated. Whatever negative emotion or connotation you want to come up with, it was all steaming off of the head of the Honda HRC rider. But just a few minutes later, he headed to the podium for his TV interview and said all the positive things, and he doubled down on that in the post-race press conference. And everything he said was true. In many ways, it was a good night for Sexton. He rode well for most of the night. He made up points on series leader Eli Tomac, who only finished 5th. It's not like he's hurt. It's not like he's crushed his championship hopes. He learned something again.
I am happy with how I was riding. Obviously, I would have loved to close that one out. Cooper, it was going to be a battle down to the wire, obviously, with him. And I was looking forward to that, but took myself out of that one. And yeah, let's go back to work. I went and kind of checked the loops out a little bit and probably need to move around a little bit more in the future. But overall, we're in a good spot. And like I said, my riding keeps getting better. So looking forward to the future.
Yes, Sexton turned the frustration of crashing while leading into, "I crashed while trying to win." And he swears that late in the race, the fact that he's had these problems before is not creeping into his mind.
No, not really. I mean, it's definitely, unfortunately, been a little bit of an ongoing thing. But, I mean, like I said, I'm going to put my best self out there throughout the whole main event, and I'm not going to let him go by me. I mean, I had a few close calls in the loops prior to that. That one obviously bit me. So, yeah, I was giving it my all, and that's all I can do. Like I said, I was really locked in and focused on what I had going in front of me. Had a few bad runs in the sand. I think he did too. But other than that, I mean, I was really hitting my marks. I was doing the dragons back really well, jumping over the top one, linking corners together. So overall, it just wasn't meant to be. And like I said, we have I don't know how many more races, so 12 or so. So we got a lot more tries at it, and we're in a good spot. So I'm going to put myself out there and give it everything I have every time.
So with Sexton sounding so positive after looking so negative after the race, one big question remains. Did he simply need a few minutes to collect himself, and then he found the true positives? Or is he simply trying to convince himself and his competitors that everything is fine? Certainly you don't want someone as salty and savvy as Webb to know that down the stretch another mistake could be coming. It's the exact type of thing that Webb feeds off of for confidence. So there's many reasons for Sexton to try to put a positive spin on it all, but then again, there's a real reason to think that he's simply telling the truth. After all, he has the hardest thing to teach, which is speed. And he's only 2 points behind Tomac, who now looks at least a little more beatable than he did when he was just about unstoppable in the first 2 rounds of the season. Was it another learning lesson that Sexton can use to be even stronger in the future? Or is it a lesson someone like Webb can use the next time he battles Sexton late in the race? As for Webb, he knows that week-to-week turnarounds in this series are possible. He looked great early in the season. He finished 5th, similar to Tomac in Tampa in Houston, and it looked like he possibly was losing pace with the leaders of the series. But now he's back, and with confidence. The last 3 weekends of this championship, with wins by Sexton, Tomac, and Webb, have led to a much more dynamic storyline than it looked like we might have had at the beginning of the year. It's certainly fun to watch, and makes this weekend's event in Oakland super pivotal.